It's time to discuss operations and expenses. It's really time to elevate small businesses. It's time for Joe to drop his knowledge, it's relentless. This rhyme of mine is getting a bit ridiculous. Here we go, we're live with Joe. Enjoy the show.
What is up, Fence fam? So good to see you guys back. As you guys notice, one, it's not Saturday, and two, we're not in the Expert Professional Wood Care Studios. We're here at Nationwide Industries in Tampa. Guys, first and foremost, I appreciate you guys just rolling out the red carpet for me here. We have had an incredible time. We've done a little bit of everything. We met the team yesterday. We did a warehouse walk, and we'll talk a little bit more about that because I got a lot to say about that. And then, yeah, we kind of seen what Nationwide has to offer. And I'm telling you what, it's a lot. It's a lot. Let's do this. Let's go around the table and kind of introduce ourselves so everyone knows kind of who's who and go from there. Want to start down here?
Sure. My name is Eric Timothy, and I am Director of Engineering. I've been with Nationwide for a little over 19 years now.
Cool. And Eric has some cool toys.
Definitely some cool toys.
Some of which we'll talk about, others we won't, but cool toys nonetheless.
My name is Caroline Allison. I'm the marketing manager for Nationwide and Lucky USA.
Very good.
Michael Greenfield. I'm the Central Regional Sales Manager for Nationwide.
He's our Nationwide guy.
That's what they say. Rich Warnock. I'm a customer service inside sales manager here at Nationwide Industries, and we keep it going. Been here about almost a decade now.
Almost a decade
with this company.
So, guys, that seems to be a recurring theme, just talking about the team, is longevity here. And when I'm talking to folks, I'm talking to people that have been here a decade, been here 19 years, been here a long time. What is it? Is it culture? What is it that has led you guys, that you guys believe has led to this longevity?
I think culture is a big part of it. I mean, we hire and try to find people who fit into the organization, and we've been really successful at doing that. I think it's also this excitement that's around the business. We've grown immensely over the years, and we're constantly launching new and exciting products. And I think that keeps people excited about the business. People are generally happy to be here because, things are happening.
Yeah, that's the thing is everyone I've talked to has been just in a really good mood. And I've been around enough people to know, like, not everyone has a great day, right? But everyone that we talked to yesterday has been just really upbeat and really excited to share what they do here and kind of what role they play on the team. I mean, teamwork has to be really big here, it seems like.
Definitely. Yeah, we have a great marketing team. I can speak for across the board, from the Prime Source family to folks who help me out every day, like Rich, Michael, and Eric, across the board.
Nice.
It's definitely a family here. We all get along in the office. There's a reason why Greenfield's out in the field. A little bit, but in the office it's great. We typically like to I go to Eric's office if I have a question, so I don't have to send him an email or phone call or something like that. So it's definitely a good family, and like Eric said, we try to bring on new people that fit in the niche of our industry as well.
Well, and that's one of the things when I was talking to some folks about my particular experience with Nationwide, and which started with Michael, is that you guys are great at forming relationships. So Mike's great at forming a relationship with us. He's always checking in. Hey, how's it going? But more than business, like, hey, how are the kids? And he's good at forming these relationships, right? And so then when I came in on location and met you guys in person, I was like, oh, this isn't like an isolated incident. Like, this is a culture thing that you guys seem to be really good at forming these relationships inside and outside of the organization. Let's do this. Let's say hi to a few people. We've got quite a few people. Welcome. Because I wasn't sure, because it's a Wednesday midday, but the Midwest is going through a bit of a snowstorm, so maybe that helps. Roger Bencourt's with us. What's up, Roger? No power in the shop today. Storm issues. Glad to join in, Roger. We're always glad to have you, with or without power.
That's dedication.
Bo DeVore. What's up, Bo? Some familiar names here. Both tapping in from Oregon. Bo, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Todd M is with us. Good morning, Joe. Hello from Denver. Todd, good morning. Welcome. We know this guy, Eric Johnson. Does anyone know Eric Johnson? Does this name
I've
sound
heard the
familiar?
name.
Yeah.
I've definitely,
Okay.
It's unfortunate.
definitely
that we do.
heard the name, yes.
Yeah.
The funny part of this is Eric's like literally sitting right here, like just right off camera. Kyle Stanley says, what's up, Joe? Kyle from Kentucky, K&H Fencing. Kyle, welcome. Appreciate you. Glad to have you. Ho! Stevie Boy Billings is here from across the pond in Ireland. Good afternoon, Joe, and all chat from Dublin, Ireland.
Welcome. That's awesome.
What is
That's
up?
awesome,
What is
yeah.
up? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Trev Allen says, Rich. You know Trev Allen?
Is that Trevor?
Trev could be short for Trevor. Very well
I
could
bet that's Trevor.
Okay.
We all love Trevor.
Glad you helped him work that out.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
be. Stevie Boy says, I'm the last and the first like. Come on, guys, hit the likes. Yeah. If you guys are joining the stream, give it, we'll say feedback, right? So the like button, we talked about this a little bit in that Facebook doesn't really watch the like button because it's kind of an easy, what am I trying to say, Braden? It's an easy input. Is that what I'm trying to say, I guess? If you hold it down and you give it like a heart or an angry face or any one of them, it doesn't really matter. If you could do one of those, that would be fantastic. Jeremy is with us. Jeremy, I still owe you an email, and I know that. It's just, it's been a whirlwind. But know that in the back of my mind, I've got an email coming to you, Jeremy. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. The Fence Industry Podcast with the one, the only, Dan Wheeler. Dan, what is up? Good morning, Joe, and the NWI team. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning, Dan.
Morning, Dan.
We're actually just talking about your podcast. Russell Round says, love this crew. What's up, Russell? Joe Garza says, good day, Joe. Good day, Joe. Doctor. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Let's start off talking about, we'll just start from the top. So we had a little bit of and you guys will see this in the week in the life, some excitement in the very beginning of the trip that started with Braden almost missing the plane. When I tell you he was the last person on this plane, that he was closing the door, like on his way onto the plane. They just let him close the door on his way in. But he made it, so here he is. And then we uneventful trip to Tampa, so that went well. And then we met up with Michael and came on over. We started off with meeting the team, and then I want to talk for a little bit about the warehouse walk because, guys, this warehouse is impressive. Like, the facility itself is impressive, but the amount of items in this warehouse, tons of items. I think inventory in the tens of millions. I think that's safe to say, right? So when I'm telling you there's some Nationwide stuff here, it's all here. Like, if you think of a part, it's like Nationwide, it's probably out there. We could probably go put hands on it right now. But what I thought was interesting was not only there's there Nationwide, but there's also Grip-Rite and Lockheed like areas and sections in this warehouse, which kind of leads into a nice discussion on why I know you guys are all one family now, but so this isn't only a Nationwide warehouse. I also Grip-Rite and Lockheed.
Yeah, so obviously we were acquired by Prime Source Brands, and Grip-Rite obviously is very well known in the construction circle and in the home improvement remodeling. So obviously with Nationwide having, the space in the warehouse, and we have, a very dedicated staff, we can fulfill select Lockheed items and a lot of the Grip-Rite items as well.
Tons of nails.
Tons of nails.
There are a lot of nails out there.
Lots of nails, lots of palm nailers,
Right.
compressors.
Speaking of palm nailers, we're going to be giving some away here in just a little bit. So stay tuned in for the giveaway. We're also going to do some hats and some gloves. We've got some gloves off camera that we'll talk about. So we're going to be doing giveaways. Stay tuned. We're going to do those here in just a little bit. So nails is probably what I focus on because that's something that we're talking about switching over. I shared this with the Nationwide team yesterday. It's funny. So I was talking to Scott. If you guys watch Week in the Life, you know Scott. He's our field supervisor. He runs the residential crew. He likes to do wood anyway. Talking to him about switching nails over. We were with another brand of nails and said, well, we're talking about switching over to Grip-Rite because they're all in the same family now. He's like, I love Grip-Rite nails. He said, it is about time. Well, how have we not had this conversation sooner? But anyway, so if you guys those of you specifically that are installing wood, I have a feeling you already are familiar with the name. But yeah, so what you're saying is you can bundle these things.
You can
together.
bundle, yeah. So
if we need some nationwide hardware, some nails,
And
a
then-
lock key, lock system, they can all
Sure.
come in the same shipment.
panic bars, yes. Come out of the same warehouse, the same shipment, come on the same order.
Very good, very good. Let's talk about some of the toys out there. Can we talk about the toy that we saw out there in the warehouse?
Which one?
Oh,
Salt spray?
Yeah.
You want to start with salt spray?
We'll do like sequential. Well, that's not your. Yes.
Okay.
Can we talk about salt sprayer?
We can.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're not. This thing's cool. Very cool.
It is.
I'll let you explain it, and then I'll put it in my terms because you got the technical down.
Well, I hope so.
That's kind of your job. Yeah. Right.
So back probably 15 years ago or so, we were looking at a lot of, stainless steel products for vinyl fence, and we were looking at, corrosion. We wanted to know that our products didn't rust.
Sure.
And we decided that the best way to do that was to actually go out and purchase a salt spray test machine so that we could run ASTM B117, which is the standard salt spray
Sure.
test, and actually test our products, compare it to other manufacturers, periodically test our products from various factories, make sure that everything was up to par, and we began to use it for all kinds of fun stuff. And we've actually graduated probably 5 or 6 years ago. We bought a much bigger machine, and we're actually able to do all of that testing in-house. As I was telling you when we were out there, we actually have changed the way we test. ASTM B117 is great, and it's a great standard to use. But we have actually started testing much hotter. So we run the machine at much hotter temperatures, more to emulate a corrosion test,
Okay.
which gives us much better results, much faster. We typically, in doing that, we run comparison tests. So whether we're comparing to a competitor, whether we're comparing factories or newer production versus older production, it's been a great tool for us to have out there.
Well, and one thing we're talking about is I don't know. I didn't know how salt machines worked or salt sprayers work. It's a continuous mist.
Yeah.
So it is continually just bombarding whatever's in there with this salt spray.
It's pretty aggressive.
That's incredible because when we're thinking about real world, this exceeds real world significantly, or at least accelerates it, I guess.
Well, and that's the intention, because if we emulated real world, even in the worst case scenario, for a lot of these stainless steel products, we want them to last 20 years. So it would take 20 years to test.
Sure.
And by accelerating that testing, we can get results and know how these products are going to perform much faster.
Sure. And I like the fact that you guys go above and beyond ASTM as well. So it's good to have standards. Everyone needs to know kind of where they're comparing to, but the fact that it goes above and beyond in temperature, I think that speaks to your guys' dedication to research and development. That was one of my takeaways from this trip, is that how much you guys invest in developing the product and testing the products that are already developed. Like you had said, your commitment to testing new factory runs versus old factory runs. On a product that's already tried and true, or you continue to test it. I think that was one of my key takeaways, guys, is that just the amount that you guys dedicate to developing products is pretty unreal.
What's interesting too is, not only are we using that as part of a QC measure, like you mentioned, one of the things we didn't talk about yesterday is we will randomly select incoming product, and we send it out to outside test lab and have the materials analyzed to make sure that the materials are meeting the specs that we have for that material.
Very good.
That way we can keep all the factories in check and make sure all of our products are actually what we say they are.
Well, and that's an independent test too.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a little bit of peace of mind there, and also knowing that whatever results come back are completely independent of the company itself.
And the other nice thing is with the Prime Source group, okay, I'm actually doing engineering for the Prime Source group as well. And we have a West Coast facility that has a salt spray tester that's even bigger than the one we have here.
Bigger than the one out there.
And that runs ASTM B117 24/7. So if we do want to run a strict ASTM B117 test, we can actually run that out there. So we use them. They can use us for accelerated testing. So we're all kind of one big team now.
Sure.
And that's why, you talked about the fasteners. You were talking a little bit about the nail guns. I'm jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
But, and how well the Grip-Rite products work, how consistently they work.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons is that West Coast facility.
Okay.
That West Coast facility, all day long, what they're doing is testing fasteners. They have every tool imaginable, everything you can buy. They have those tools there, all labeled and set up. And when they're testing collated fasteners, they'll run it through all the different tools, make sure everything's working fine. They will test each of the fasteners, and tension tests and break-off tests and all that kind of testing. They're doing all of that right in that facility, along with the ASTM B117.
Well, and so what you're talking about? So we had a conversation yesterday about when we were talking about nails. The feedback I got from Scott, the brand we're using now won't shoot an entire coil of nails. So they're plastic collated, and when they get to like the last couple coils, they always misfeed. They always jam or they won't load properly. And so what Scott was sharing with me is then he just pulls them out of the gun. They toss them in the toolbox and use them for like repairs if they need to hand nail one or two pickets and they don't want to bring out all the equipment. And I asked him, so how consistently is this happening? He said, it's about every coil. Okay, 12 coils in a box. How many coils do you have in the truck? He's like, a lot. Okay, so not only are we not saving the money that we thought we were, we're also having issues. If they're having to change these things out faster, then that speaks to efficiencies as well. So that was kind of the conversation we're talking about with the nails. Is that So we're looking at switching over. We're going to switch over. We're going to switch over the guns too, because we're talking about the nail guns. I think we've got some in the background here. Switching over that way, we have just kind of Grip-Rite front to back. Something I'm looking forward to, and you guys will see coming up on some of the Week in the Lives. Is I'd like to get some in Scott's hands and have Scott give some real world feedback if I can remember how to speak English. So let's see. I saw a comment in here. Todd M says, kudos to Nationwide team. So Todd loves the Keystone key latch that Nationwide makes. Have it on my gate and plan to put it on the second one I have in the yard this summer. There you go.
All right,
we were looking at some of those earlier. Yeah. Brent Mitch, speaking of West Coast, Brent's over in California. What's up, Brent? Says good morning. I guess I should put these up. That's what real shows do. Stevie says, Joe, can you please I know. So Stevie's been trying to get a baseball cap, but there's getting one to Ireland. You would think that you would put it in a box and send it.
I don't think I've been looking because I saw that comment. I don't think it's that difficult. I think we can do it.
You think
I think we can do it.
Braden thinks we can do it. Braden thinks we have a solution.
He's been asking for more.
I know. Listen, the first cap that gets sent out is coming to you, Steve, without question. But I thought we'd have to pay tariffs and maybe not.
I don't know.
I'm putting this on Braden's plate. So because Braden thinks he's got the solution. So you are getting not only one of I'm going to surprise. We're going to send you a smorgasbord of Ozark hats. We'll say that. We'll send them all the hats. We've got several and a stocking cap. We'll give you the whole kit and caboodle. Joey says, Ruvel says, hi, what's up, Joey? So Ruvel says, hi, AFA New Jersey Jackpot Show was great. Looking forward to Oklahoma. Well, so that brings up a good point is OKC in 23 is right around the corner. So, and you guys are going to be pretty easy to find, sounds like.
Yeah, we're going to be really easy to find. We're directly to the right of the AFA booth. We're proud to be a platinum sponsor this year and a 50 by 50 booth. And we have
50 by 50.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
That is massive. And right next to the AFA booth.
Right next door.
Which is usually pretty central. I haven't seen this layout, but it's usually pretty easy to find the AFA booth.
Yeah, it sure is. Last year it was. And
yeah.
We're glad to be right next to it. And we have quite the layout plan. We've got
Okay.
some surprises. We've got 3 new products launching in our new
Yeah.
innovation area.
And Liz, I've got pinky promise, swear not to tell some stuff I found out, but there's also going to be an experience. Can we
That's
say
true.
that?
Yep, I can. You want me
What-
to spill the beans? I can spill the beans on some experience if you want.
Can we talk about it?
Sure.
Okay, yes.
So I believe for the first time ever in FENCETECH history, correct me if I'm wrong though, we are having an escape room in our booth.
An escape room in the booth.
That's correct. So we're coining it Escape to Oklahoma City, or Make Your Escape to Oklahoma City.
I love it.
In this escape room, you're trying to get out, you're trying to find 4 different numbers to
Okay.
exit with the Lucky USA code. So you're going to be able to get
Okay.
hands-on real world experience with 4 brands products. So you're going to be
Okay.
able to see Ultratech cable and railing in the booth, some
Okay.
Nationwide products, some Lucky USA product, and Grip-Rite product.
Nice. Can you share the giveaways? Because I think the prize is a big one.
Yeah. So obviously making an escape through an escape room is usually getting out in time. We're putting a unique spin on it, and who can get out the quickest amount of time will win this Yeti package bundle. So
Okay.
it's going to be a Yeti cooler, a Yeti lunchbox, can cooler, and one of the turbises.
Very good. I think there's going to be a lot of excitement around this.
I hope so. We're excited for it.
Very good. So right next to the AFA. So you guys coming to Oklahoma City? It's, what, 3 weeks or something?
Mhm.
4 weeks, maybe. It's coming up. It's right around the corner. Check out the Nationwide Industries booth right next to the AFA booth.
Yep, booth 1521.
1521.
Before we hit FENCETECH, though,
Yes.
we're going to International Builder Show next
That's
week.
right. I'm jealous. You guys are going to
Yeah.
IBS.
Yeah, so we'll be at IBS with some of our Prime Source family of brands booth in 4548
Okay.
in Central Hall. We're excited to be there. There'll be quite the booth there as well.
Nice. So any of you guys making it to IBS, check them out there as
Yep.
well. Very good. Let's see. We had a few more. Let's see. Roger wants to know, does Nationwide participate in any discount programs through the AFA? Asking for a friend. You can ask for yourself, Roger. It's asking for a friend getting into the industry. Well, I'll let you answer it. Does Nationwide participate in discount programs through the AFA?
I'm not sure right now. Rich, do you know of anything?
No, we don't participate. I don't believe in any of the discounts of the AFA currently, but as Caroline's been doing and doing a great job is growing our presence in the AFA, and obviously a 50x50 booth. This will be the first year
Yeah.
we've done a 50x50 booth, and
Nice.
the idea, and I've seen the concept. It's quite exciting what she and her team came up with to get going for the show this year in Oklahoma City.
Which is so, and I'm not the expert on the AFA discount program. I will begin by saying that, but I don't know that there's many. I think that's more of like a affiliated services type discounts is the discount program with AFA. Still a lot of value there.
Yeah.
I don't want to minimize it, but I think it's more like an affiliated services. So
I think you can get
talk about insurance.
insurance, and then they also had a program. I don't know if they're still running it with Ariat,
Yeah.
shirt company, where
Yep.
you could get your logo and your name on it for free. But yeah, I think it's more like I think it's more like on the other side, like
Sure.
the insurance, things like that.
So
I think there's also discounts on fuel cards, or you can get a discount on gas.
yeah,
Cell phone plans, if you got a large expanse of crews out there, getting them all on cell phones. So there are some programs, but I don't know how we would work our way into something like that.
yeah. Well, I don't know if it's even an option. It seems like if it's one of those things where it seems like a waterfall situation where once you start down that road, who knows where it stops. Todd was talking about the Keystone latch, and he's talking about he loves the latch, the materials it's made out of, and how it holds up in different weather we get here in Colorado. It's held up amazingly well. Great job. Heard about this from Joe. Well, there you go. We were talking about material composition earlier. Well, in material composition, but design as well. In that, there's a big conversation, but overall, that is protected from dirt getting into it. Leaves. Right now in the Midwest, we're getting some snow and ice, so it's also protected from snow and ice as well.
Yeah, we try to think about what's happening out in the real world, so we work hard to try to design the product so that, outside of this building, when they're actually out in the field somewhere and debris is falling in the parts, Keystone, you think about that slots on the bottom where you operate the knot.
Mhm.
Well, there's a reason for that. If you put the slot anywhere else, like on the top,
Sure.
debris can fall into that slot, dirt can fall into that slot, water gets in there, it ices up. I mean, you have all kinds of issues. By putting it on the bottom, not only does it naturally weep, but it keeps the product free from getting gummed up.
And it's also protected.
And so we try to think about that with every product we design. What really happens out there.
Well, and guys, I think so. I talk about this a lot when we're talking about sponsors, right? In that we're not going to bring someone on as a sponsor that I don't personally believe in. Where if we're having a conversation one-on-one in a totally private scenario, and you come to me and say, "Hey, Joe, what do you think about Nationwide? What do you think about insert name of sponsor?" If they're a sponsor of us, my answer, whether there's people around or not, is these are people that I do business with, right? These are people that I enjoy working with. And I can't say that too much in front of Mike because his head won't fit through that door getting out of this room. But it's people I legitimately enjoy doing business with because it's people that have great products that we use as a business. And when we're choosing a product to use, when I'm talking about we as Ozark Fence, we don't want to go back on callbacks. We don't want to have issues with the installation. It needs to work the first time and needs to continue working, right? So Todd's point is pretty in line with a lot of the feedback that we have, but then also the hardware that we sell to you guys, a lot of the feedback we hear from you guys is like Todd, that it works well in a variety of weather conditions. And again, probably speaks back to the research and development you guys put into these products and the ongoing research you guys put into them.
And it's a philosophy too. You think about, okay, when you get a call back, where is it? Where on the fence is your callback?
It's Gates.
It's Gates.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So we Nationwide are supplying a small percentage of the overall cost of the product that you're selling.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's right.
But we also understand that we're responsible for 99% of the callbacks you're going to get. Now, we're responsible, but that area of the product that you're selling is where the problem is going to happen.
Gates are the #1 callback in the United States for fence installation. It is always maybe not always, like 99.9%. Maybe sometimes there's a workmanship issue or something, but when we're getting callbacks, it's always the gate.
And so that's why my entire team, and pretty much everyone here understands that okay, we're where that callback is going to happen. Let's do everything we can to make sure that you have as few of those as possible.
Sure. Well, and we can probably talk about another one of your toys or series of toys out there in that the gate testing facility, right? So you guys are testing these gates 1,000,000 cycles, right? Like that's the warranty you put on these things is the 1,000,000 cycle warranty. When we're talking about like hinges and that sort of thing. I didn't know what to expect when I saw this, and you guys will see it on a short. I recorded some videos while we're here to put up on shorts. But there's one gate that's just absolutely slamming. Like it's closing the gate a lot like my kids do. So I'm glad to see that. But you guys actually test these things for 1,000,000 cycles.
Yeah, that actually started back in 2004 when we began working on the cornerstone hinges. And when we kept the first off-tool samples and we were working through on testing, we said, okay, we had a goal of 200,000 cycles. And so we set this whole fixture up. It's a 4-foot wide gate that's 6 foot tall. And we added weight to make that gate weigh 75 pounds.
Okay.
We have a pneumatic cylinder that pulls the gate open.
Yeah.
And then it releases when it gets all the way open, and just the springs close the gate.
So, and that's an interesting point because I hadn't considered that. You guys are not only testing the hinges for like weight capacity, but you're also testing the springs to make sure that the springs are going to be able to stand up to that 1,000,000 cycles.
Well, the spring's the failure point. I mean, those hinges will hold, all of them will hold over 1,000 pounds. Some of them, a couple thousand pounds or more. I'm not really worried about the weight. And we actually do separate point load testing to verify what they'll handle weight-wise. Really, in a cycle test, when you're dealing with a self-closing hinge, it's the spring. And so that's why we began that testing so many years ago. And we hit 200,000 cycles, and we said, oh, let's see if we can go to 300,000 cycles. And every time we would hit that milestone, we kept going. And after a year, because it took a full year to get there, we hit 1,000,000 cycles on hinge, and we were like, whoa, And so then as we developed more of these hinges, we kept testing them.
Sure.
One of them we decided, I was telling you about this one, we decided, oh, we're just going to let this one keep running.
Yeah.
When we hit the 5 million mark, we were like, okay, well, clearly this thing's never going to die, but I want to see what it looks like inside. So we pulled it down, opened it up. Yeah, there was definitely some wear.
Sure.
There was definitely some wear.
5 million cycles, I bet there was.
I mean, but I think it might have had another million.
Wow.
I mean, it was impressive. And that
So-
gets you a long ways.
So share with the audience what you shared with me. Like, what is 1 million cycles in like a real world scenario? What does that look like? It's more than I thought.
Okay, so if you were to jump in your handy time machine, I know everyone's got one.
Braden's developing one, I think. Yeah.
And you were jumping that with a set of cornerstone hinges, and
Okay.
you were to go back to the day the Declaration of Independence was signed.
Okay.
And you go to John Hancock's house, and you go up to his front gate, and you install a set of those cornerstone hinges. And he used that 10 times a day, every day, 365 days, which we know that's way more than a residential.
Right.
But heavy traffic. Lots of people
Sure.
like to go see
In and
John
out
Hancock.
all day.
He was the dude. Everyone wanted to go see him. So if you did that, and then he sold that house, and those people used it just as much, et cetera, right down the line. Okay, you would have another 30 years before you hit 1 million cycles.
From today.
Yep. So
And guys, this is like the part that puts my mind in a pretzel, because that's like making the assumption that it gets used 10 times a day.
well, and that the rest of the gate lasts that long.
right. That the materials themselves. Yeah. But I mean, I think, and this is what we're talking about, a gate might be used on average 2 or 3 times a week, maybe. So to say these hinges will last is an understatement, right? And so when you guys are selling them, the way we present them is we say, there's a 1 million cycle warranty, and they actually test 1 million cycles, because I mean, not necessarily in our industry, but you see these things where they'll do a 10,000 cycle test, and then they'll just extrapolate the data. They'll say, well, we would guess it's probably about 1 million cycles. No, they're testing 1 million cycles. And so that's what I tell the customers. Not only do they test it for 1 million cycles, they also don't count your cycles. So if you call me and you say, Joe, something on the hinge fail, like I haven't seen one yet. I'll let you know when we do, I guess. But something happened. The spring broke or something. They're not going to make you count the cycles. They're not going to make you say this gate had 251 cycles. They'll just repair it. They'll just replace it. And actually, we're so confident. We've been using them for a while. We're so confident that I just extend that warranty directly with the customer. There's not a registration form to fill out with a serial number and say, well, and if it fails, if you send it back to the manufacturer, they'll send you a new one, and then you can have me back out and I'll replace it. No, it's just, I'm going to bring you one out. I'm going to replace it, and then I'll deal with it, because I know I can reach out to Michael and it's good. I know that from our relationship. So for you guys that are fencing contractors, talking to your customers, the peace of mind is huge. Just because, and I knew this before we came here, but another one of the takeaways is just how much goes into these products. So where that, talk about peace of mind, I have no problem telling customers that I will personally back up this guarantee. It's just, and the 1 million cycles, like my kids, okay, it's like several generations away, 5 or 6 generations, probably 7 generations away, they might get to 1 million cycles. So I feel like we're okay. I feel like we're okay. Yeah. And like you said, the materials will probably be the issue long before the hinges. Anyway, so I thought that was interesting, though, the longevity. But the testing facility, what's it, the wind farm? Is that what it's called?
Is what we call it.
When we were talking about this trip, when Michael first, I was talking with Caroline, I said, that's what I want to see. Like, I would love to see everything else. I want to see this. Like, this is, for me, like, as an analytical person, like, I want to see how these things are tested.
Did it meet your expectations?
And so, just so for me, like, seeing that gate slam, right? Because that's another thing. It's like, they don't like gently. It's not like feather close, and we're not treating these things gently. It's a real world scenario where they are set to slam, because that is how my children operate gates. So it's good to see that they're also tested in that way too.
Well, if you see it in the Northeast, they love to set their gates in the Northeast. They crank up that tension on those hinges and love to see those gates slam. I don't know what it is about the Northeast, but they love that.
Sure. Well, so it's real world testing, but I think that's huge. Let's check in real quick and see what else we're talking about. All right. So Stevie is going to send details via Instagram. Yeah. All right. Many thanks to Fence Fam. You got it. Bryson is with us. What's up, Bryson? Great show and a great group of people right there.
Hi,
Thank you, sir.
Bryson Church.
Yeah. Kara is also with us. Eric Timothy, great way to explain the million cycle warranty.
Thank you, Kara.
It's actually a million cycles. I think that was probably another takeaway is that you guys actually test it for a minute. I don't know what I expected coming into it, but then he said that I was like, oh, it's really a million. Like,
well, and it's
for
all
real.
the hinges too. So when we develop a new hinge, that hinge gets a million cycles. We don't go, oh yeah, well this one's similar to this other one. It's good for a million.
Sure.
We will go, okay, well it's similar, but it's not the same. And we throw it up on that machine.
Yeah. Can we talk about the development of them? One of the toys you have that helps you develop these? Or no?
Rapid prototyping?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, everyone does that.
Okay.
We have we actually have several machines around. So we showed you the one we have here.
Yeah.
So we have a nice big printer that can do a foot by a foot by a foot. So that can get you pretty much any of the parts we're developing.
Sure.
We have another printer. It's not on premises, it's off site, but that it's one of our guys' house who spends some time working from home. Then we actually have a couple of printers in Carson City, where I have a couple of guys in the TCC facility. So we got printers all over and do different materials, and that really helps us out because, 3D modeling is great. We can see how all of the parts fit together and see how they might operate.
Sure.
But when you print a part and are actually able to feel how the parts interact with each other and see how the fit is, and we can show customers.
Right. Right.
It's really helpful.
And when you say rapid development, we're talking, you count these things in hours, not days or weeks in terms of making one of these prototypes.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah.
Probably depends on what you're making, but
some of those real big parts might take 24 hours.
Sure.
But
sure.
It's a much quicker way than, back in the day when you had to machine it out or do something like that.
Right.
Being able to just fire up the printer and print some parts out saves us a lot of time.
Well, and we looked at a part that's being developed and you start to understand the benefit. One of the benefits is, so as we're handling it, we're like, oh, that's something that you might not have thought about on the rendering. You saw it on the rendering, but you don't think about until you put hands on it and operate it. You don't think about this thing, right? And so that was kind of a real world application of getting to sit in on that and seeing, okay, so we probably need to figure out a way of re-engineering this particular function or whatever it was, and let's run another one. And that can happen. That whole from printing it to having the meeting to redesigning this can happen in days instead of weeks or months.
Yeah, and it also helps when our marketing folks get involved and are going, "Wow, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen." But I can do some fancy renderings and show them a picture of what it might look like.
Sure.
Okay. But when you actually have a part in your hands that you can look and rotate, Eric over here off screen might go, no, that's just not pretty. Caroline might be giving me gripe about, where a certain logo or spot is, we can actually see the part, handle it, and get a good idea right from there.
It's got to be huge. It's got to be
awesome.
huge. And it has to accelerate the whole development process itself.
It definitely
from idea to implementation.
Yeah, I mean, we bought the first printer probably about 8 years ago. Before that, we were using outside resources to print. But since having our own printer, it's definitely taken months out of the process as we go through this.
Sure, I think that's huge. I say that's huge. There's a lot of huge things I saw while I was here. And again, I'll thank you guys for having me out because it's been an eye opening. And I hope I'm going to be able to share a lot of it with you guys. Like I said, I pinky promised There's going to be some videos coming out closer to FENCETECH about some products that I think I'm excited about. So I think you guys are going to be excited about. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Let's do a giveaway. So I told you this was going to happen.
Yeah.
We're 44 minutes in. So before Caroline's like, an hour? Like, I don't know if we're going to be able to do this. Like, trust me, we're going to have a conversation and this thing's going to fly. We're already 44 minutes. We were supposed to do a giveaway at 20 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm behind. We get to talking and that's just what happens.
So what do you want to start with?
Let's do the gloves. Let's do the gloves because I just want to mess with them. We're doing these things. So I'll tell you the ones my guys like a lot. Let's see. They're the gray and blue ones. So these my guys. So we got a care package. Thank you. Guys like these a lot. So they are the industrial series, but they're grippy, right? So they got grip. So the guys can grip stuff even when it's wet. So like if we're putting up this, and Scott gave me this example last week, pre-stained wood when it's wet. Slippery stuff. Like it's not absorbing this water. The water sits on it. So his guys really appreciate this. So we've got some grippy gloves, not the actual name, but it's what I'm calling them. We've got some grippy gloves. We've got some cold weather gloves.
And high vis.
High vis. Can we talk about a color change sometime down the road? I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, green is okay.
We'll take it up.
I can make a suggestion. Yeah. I can make a suggestion.
Yeah. I'm guessing orange.
Nailed it. Nailed it. How did you know?
That's why we keep him around.
That's why I'm here.
Mike's really the idea guy.
Yes.
He's really the idea guy around here. All right, we've got some regular professional series gloves. Actually, we've got 2 sets of everything.
Yeah.
Right. So we got a lot of gloves.
Yep.
We got a lot of gloves. Let's do this. So if you're watching, let's give them a code word. What do you think the code word should be?
Let's go Keystone.
Keystone is the code word. So if you guys enter Keystone in the chat, Braden is monitoring it diligently, and we're going to put them in like a randomizer, and then we'll pick out a winner at the end of the broadcast. So Keystone, Braden, is for the gloves. You guys want the gloves? Enter the Keystone. Now, if you're watching this as a replay, I'm sorry. This was done during the live, but check the glove. Well, actually, this is an exclusive giveaway, right? So they're not really even in the catalog.
That's true.
So this is an exclusive giveaway. So even if you're watching on the replay, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
I know what to tell him. Next time, watch it live.
Next time, watch it live. Bingo. That's right. I would like to come back. And so we should make this like an annual thing or something like that, to where we come out, talk about updates, what's new and improved, that sort of thing. Do a live, because this is a lot of fun. So yeah, watch the live next time if you're watching this on the replay. Are we turning this into a podcast, Braden?
Yeah.
If you're listening on the podcast, you should watch this live. You should watch the channel. And now this is a special broadcast. So typically when I'm talking about listening on the broadcast or listening on the podcast, I say watch the live broadcast on Saturdays from 10 a.m. Central. But this is a special one. So everyone that was subscribed to the channel got the notification. So also subscribe. You can subscribe on YouTube, on Facebook, and on LinkedIn. Is that right? I think I get them all. YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can subscribe to us there. You get notifications when we schedule one-off lives. So keyword Keystone, we've got several. So this is going to be tough. We're going to have to put these in a randomizer. Keyword Keystone, and we'll choose it at the end of the broadcast. How's that sound? All right. Scott says, great show, gang. Love the group almost as much as Rich's mustache.
Yeah.
So
Thanks, Scott Wojcik.
Yeah.
I know which Scott that was.
Yeah.
I'm glad you knew how to pronounce the name. I really appreciate that.
I'd hope so. It's been around a couple of years. So.
Yes.
All right. So let's catch up with some chat here. So this is an interesting question. How is the warranty handled? So the question from Roger is, does Nationwide provide a warranty for the end user, such as a customer registration of your product? How is something like that handled?
So I'll take a little bit, and Eric and Caroline can expand a little bit. So
Okay.
I have a team of 8 CSRs here in-house that we take the first line of defense, essentially is what I say. So we get the call, such and such is not working. You know, we do our due diligence. We ask usually the consumer or yourself, Joe, sends us an email. We like to get pictures and see what's going on and what's happening. And, we have several warranties that we have written out. It's on the website. Thanks, Caroline, putting those on there.
Nice.
But we also do stand behind all our products. So we try to understand what's going on with, maybe something was over tightened. I'm not trying to put out the installers or anything like that. And
Sure.
it cracked or something,
Sure.
And we go through and we get the pictures and everything. And typically we do try to cover the warranties when we can.
And I think that's a good question, because the example I would put out there, so we sell Nationwide Hardware, shameless plug, ozfence.store. So if someone were to buy it, like an end user were to buy it on there, install it themselves, it's still covered under the warranties. Is that
Correct.
right?
So we'll have it. So let's say your end user contacts you directly and you
Sure.
email us.
Yep.
And we're taking care of the warranty. You can send us their address and we'll send it to them directly.
Okay.
If they want to do it themselves,
Sure.
or if you want your installer to come in and do it, we send it directly to you.
Sure.
We essentially send that warranty product wherever either the end user or you as a customer of ours want us to send that warranty as
Okay.
well.
Okay. All right. So that's answer one on the warranty.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to expand on
Yeah.
one of the things he said.
Yeah.
He said we're going to ask for pictures. We're going to ask for information. We're going to ask for, the parts back if we can get them back.
Sure.
And we're not doing that so that we can say, "Oh no, you did this, and that's why we're going to avoid the warranty." That's not why we're asking that. We're asking that so my team can learn.
Sure. Understand what
So
build.
so we can look at those parts and go, okay, well, they're doing this. If we change this design a little bit and make the part better, maybe we wouldn't get this call again.
Right.
Right. But we do ask for that information, but
Of course.
it's not about trying to shut down a warranty.
No, you're using it on the fact of product development or
Yeah.
for product development to further research and develop whatever it is that had the warranty claim.
Yep.
And they can find them on the website.
They sure can. They
Okay.
can go into the product page, or they can go to our resources area to find a warranty. There's also a great place for FAQs.
Yep.
But going back to Rich and his team, they are a great source of information, whether you're looking for what hinge to buy, what latch to buy. You give them that situation, their team and his team is there for people to find the right solution.
Yeah, I think the website is a fair point, because the website is a great tool. We use it a lot for pulling. I mean, you got the overview of just what it is and what it does, but you also have the specification data, like the really analytical parts of what the product can do, so that I'm not bugging Michael all the time, asking him, hey, what's a weight load of this, or whatever the question is. 9 times out of 10, I can just go to the website, pull up the spec data, and it's all right there. But the warranty is also right there.
Yep, the warranty's there, and actually we just added some 360 photos. So a lot
Nice.
of times when you're browsing online or browsing through a catalog, you can't see the full range of where the hinge and where the leaves are on a hinge.
Sure.
So
sure.
we actually just added a couple of 360 photos, one of which of our newest product that comes in 4 sizes, the Keystone Traverse.
Nice.
Super easy install in 4 steps, and that's one of the ones I'm very proud of, and the 360. So I don't know if Eric has anything to share about the Traverse.
Traverse is a fun toy.
Well, and so stay tuned, guys, because we're going to do, while I'm here, we're going to do some videos about the Traverse. We're going to do several videos. Let's do this. Let's let you guys be part of this, like, content creation. If you guys have an idea for some content while I'm here, whether it be product related or what have you, drop it in the comments. We're here for a few more hours. It is a flying trip, because we did fly on airplanes. Siri doesn't understand what I'm saying, but which is fair. But this is also a quick trip. So we came down yesterday morning. We're headed back this afternoon, but we've got a few hours to do content. We've got some content ideas, some sneak preview type videos. But if you guys have some content ideas while we're here, we'd like to record as much content as possible. But the Traverse is going to come up in one of those videos. Absolutely. Let's see. The Art Chemist says, good morning. I'm moving to Pennsylvania to a home with an acre of land. Should I fence it? And what would that cost? Listen, as a fence professional, I'm going to tell you that you should fence it. That is my answer, bar none. We're kind of in the business of building fence. Now, an acre is a lot to fence. So we're doing a project here in a few weeks where they've got a large parcel of land, and they're fencing around the backyard portion. And they don't maintain this whole massive parcel as their yard. So, but they also don't want to have to take the dogs out every day, right? They don't all night and all that. So we're actually fencing in a backyard portion of the parcel. Maybe that's an option for you as well. Yeah. And what would it cost? That's like saying, I'm going to go buy a truck. What's a truck cost? Well, what brand of truck are we talking about? What options are we talking about? It depends is the answer. I actually did a video on what it depends on. It's an older video that we should probably refresh. This is like a real show. Like I'm doing callbacks to previous videos and all sorts of stuff. We should probably refresh that though. But the answer, I'm going to spoil it for you. The answer is it depends. We talk about what it depends on, the materials, the size, and all that. But a lot of fencing suppliers, fencing installers have online quote tools now, thanks to software such as My Salesman. So you would probably find 3 or 4 contractors in your area that you would feel comfortable with. Go to their websites. Many of them are going to have an online quote tool to where you can actually draw out the size of your property, choose the materials you're wanting to use, and go from there. Great question. Stevie Boy saying hello to Roger. He said, Stevie Boy is saying, Roger, you are dedicated. Stevie, you're here all the time too. So that's the pot calling the kettle black, I suppose. Mike Falconer says, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Falconer.
Front Rock Fences says, good morning from Front Rock Fences. Good morning, Front Rock. Good morning. I'm going to throw Scott's comment up again about Rich's mustache just because it's just that good. And then we've got a lot of you joining, a lot of you signing up for the giveaway with Keystones. Keep it coming. Steve Boy says Keystone Cop, and I don't even know what that means, but you do know what the term is. So we'll give you props for that. Keystone Cops aren't a thing in Ireland, I suppose. Front Rock Fence says, just received my mystery box. Thanks, Nationwide.
Awesome.
There you go. Let's see. Mike Falconer has a point too. The warranty is printed and packaged with the instructions. Nationwide Industries address and phone numbers inside the hardware pack. So not only on the website, you can also find it in the particular product that you purchase as well. So Zachary Griffin has a question. Do you guys sell displays? If so, how can we order some? Is that a thing?
We're trying to make it a thing.
Okay.
We're hoping to make it a
Okay.
thing, if I can say that.
Okay.
It's hard to find a one-stop shop solution for
Sure.
so many different distributors and sellers out
Well,
there.
that's the thing is your guys' catalog is impressive. So I can't imagine the amount of displays, but probably for like bestsellers, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stay tuned is the answer, Zachary. Stay tuned. Front Rock Fences says, let's see Joe swing on a gate fence with nationwide hinges. Listen, I'm a big boy. That's all I'm going to say. I'm a big boy.
Right there.
What's that?
It's a good short.
It's a good short. So what we can do when we get back, we've got the display panels up front. We could put some nationwide hinges, like some cornerstone hinges on it, and I can swing on it. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, we're adding that to the content idea.
Or maybe we'll play around a little bit later. We'll go out to the party deck.
Okay.
And
Okay.
maybe you and I will both swing on a gate.
Ooh.
Done. Done.
Oh.
This sounds
The gate or you
fantastic.
guys?
Double trouble.
The gate is done, or you guys?
It could be both. It could be both. I mean, you never know. You never know. All right. This is a very specific question. Marcio says, would love to see you check out the Lockheed 2835 gate lock.
We actually,
You guys familiar with it?
back there.
2835?
Yep. Oh no, it's the
Red welts on the.
It's on the
Yeah.
display. Okay.
yeah.
Well, all right. So when we're talking about content ideas,
Yep.
let's talk about we'll do a review video of the 2835.
That was the one
Marcia,
that
thank you.
fancy adapter Rich was showing you.
So yeah, stay tuned for that because that's fun. Well, it's out there. Can we talk about that too?
We can definitely go.
Okay, so we'll do a video on that adapter so there's an adapter, guys. So the use cases we talk about if we're wanting to add a Lockheed latch to a gate, to an already installed aluminum or steel gate. Right now, I mean, our process is we have to take the gate down, bring it back to the fab shop, fab in usually a lock box that then it can mount onto. There's a solution now to where our guys can do this in the field. There's a field mount box where we can cut and I would assume it doesn't matter aluminum or steel, right?
doesn't matter.
Yeah, so an ornamental 2-inch frame, we can cut it, mount the box in it, and then mount the locky latch right onto it in the field.
Super simple.
That's
So-
our GBS 2000, and we also have a solution, the 2835 adapter
Yeah.
for vinyl and ornamental.
Yeah, we looked at that.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So we've got some videos coming. So we'll do some videos on that as well, on the adapter, but also we can talk about the 2835 at the same time. Perfect. Marcia, thank you for the content idea. Todd says, great job, everyone. I unfortunately have to run to meetings. I know you understand, absolutely. But if I happen to win a prize, please provide to someone else if you have to be present. Everyone here is awesome. Todd, thank you. I appreciate that. You don't have to be present. Once you've entered, what'll happen is we'll randomize, we'll pick some winners, we'll announce it live so you can watch the replay for the announcement. But then we'll reach out to you directly to get the shipping information. So you don't have to be present during the announcement. Art says, thank you for the info. Very welcome. Trev Allen says, Locky USA has lots of gate boxes available that do not require the gate to be taken down. No welding needed. Very true, very true. And I'm sure I'm behind the ball on this, but that was just kind of our current process is to bring them off back to the fab shop and fabricate it up. Stain Man, what is up, Kenny? Morning, guys. Listening while working. I don't build gates anymore, but always enjoy the education. Kenny, I appreciate it. You never know when you're going to come across the gate. So Kenny's in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, does a lot of fence restoration and staining. So if you come across a gate, we've got some good solutions for you. All right. So we did the Keystone giveaway. So we talked a little bit, not a little bit, we talked a lot.
The glove giveaway.
Yeah, well, okay. Very good.
Very good.
Keystone's a key word, but we're giving away the gloves.
Gloves.
Good clarification here. We talked a lot about the research and development, like the design, how it's done. I want to talk about a little bit about another side of the house, which is we talked a little bit about the customer support, but also kind of client support. So sales and then customer service, which probably work hand in hand quite a bit. I talk to Michael more than I talk to anybody just as our sales rep. But if we do have problems, you said you have 8 people here, and they're actually like right around the corner here.
We have 8 people here in house for customer service, but I also have a team of 6 for inside sales that helps support. Michael has, Russell and Colin to support his area. All the other regionals having. Our team is actually growing. We're looking for other various aspects of the country. But yes, we try to have everyone in house. We believe that, we do have our Michigan friends. Hello to all of them, Bryson, Colin, Trevor, and my favorite, Scott Rojic. That's in Michigan. Marcia's there as well. But we try to have everyone in house, and it comes back to that family of just being interaction. Like I said earlier, there's a reason why Greenfield's out in the field, so we don't have to deal with him in house.
Sure.
We let him go about his day.
Productivity slides when I'm here.
Shocking. I find that surprising.
Yes.
I find that surprising.
But yeah, getting back to it, we have 8 CSRs that do a fantastic job here. They take pride in what they do. They try to help the customer out as much as possible, all the way from warranties to installations to, a big thing is helping the Lockheed consumers install their products.
Okay.
Those calls can take from 10 minutes all the way up to an hour of their time, and they're sit there patiently. Trevor, Bryson, Colin help out a lot with those calls when my CSRs don't know the actual answer.
Sure.
But then again, my inside sales guys, they do a fantastic job of reaching out where Mike, back in the day when we first joined about a decade ago, had 300 plus customers, and it was just him.
Just me, yeah.
Now he has support of 2 inside sales guys, territory managers, etc., to help him out, to help service better the customer.
When I've dealt with Russell, when Michael might be traveling from one customer to the next, and I had like a pricing questions usually where it comes up. Mike says, "Hey, I'm on the road," but he'll CC Russell into it, and Russell very quickly gets it taken care of. I'll say this about both sales and customer service: answers come in very quickly. So from my experience, or from my side of the house, the client side, it's impressive, like how fast those come in, because that might not be the standard, elsewhere, but you can tell it's a dedicated thing on your guys' end.
Yeah, when you have an installer out in the field trying to install something that maybe he's never done before, that expert advice is helpful.
Yeah.
They don't have to go back to the job later and finish.
Sure.
If we can provide it, obviously, there's only so many hours in a day where the guys can be working.
Right.
9 o'clock at night,
Sure.
But I mean, obviously, I mean, that's the thing that differentiates Nationwide. I'm just really glad you got an opportunity to come here and tour our facility, because it's, I just don't think a lot of people put a lot of thought into what goes on to make the tool. I mean, here we got an engineer here that's been a part of designing all the products that we have here. How many, Eric, how many patents do you have?
But not all the products though.
Well,
I mean, I have a team of 7.
Sure.
And almost every one of them has a patent for Nationwide.
Sure.
And it's a great creative group. It's not just me.
Sure.
Well, absolutely, absolutely.
Well, and one thing that you guys will see in the week in the life is there's a patent wall of the patents, and that is very incredible to see, like what the patents look like themselves, but to visually see the patents that Nationwide holds for its products.
34 now in the
34.
last 18 years.
Wow, that is incredible. That is incredible. And here's the thing: is I don't have a lot of direct experience with you guys solving problems, because we honestly don't have a lot of problems, right? In the Week in Life video, you'll see why that is, and that everything's packaged super well, whether it's the boxes, whether it's the wrapping, they're packaged very well, so they always come into us in good shape. But there's been, and actually the two hiccups that we've had have been shipping related, have been carrier related. So it's not even in-house, it's a third-party freight company. But I will say this, that you guys were incredibly responsive on, let me research into the solution. The solution came very fast, and not only here's the solution, but we're executing it right now. So it's, from our experience again on the client side, it's very nice. And that has to be you guys kind of working in tandem to figure out what the solution is and execute it quickly.
We try to make sure that, because problems are problems. We're not all going to be roses and butterflies around here, but we try to work as a team. Michael sent it in, for example, hey, guys, can we get on this? Look at FedEx or UPS or any kind of carrier that's shipping it, and see what we can do. We ultimately want to make sure you have proper product for your end user.
Well, and that was the thing during the warehouse walk. That's one of the things we're talking about, is that you guys had met recently with one of the carriers about one of the regions that may have had more problems than the rest of them. So you guys taking a proactive approach to that too, saying, hey, there seems to be an issue here. What can we do to work together to partner with these third-party freight companies? How can we work together to make sure it doesn't happen? I am incredibly jealous of the wrapping machine out there. Like as someone that so for Wireworks, if I can speak English, and if I don't break the chairs, for Wireworks, we wrap the wire, right? So for like vinyl coated wire to keep it nice by the time it gets to you guys, we're hand wrapping that right now. I cannot express to you how jealous I am of watching a gentleman put the pallet on the turntable, pressing a button, and just that thing, it's got a laser eye, so it's measuring the pallet, so it's not going too high. This thing's nice. You guys are going to see it in the Week in the Life. Very nice. Now, it also speaks to you guys making investments, because we're hand wrapping it and I don't love it. So I'm already looking into what other solutions. These things are an investment, but they're an investment in your guys' people, right? But also in the quality that you guys are shipping out to. And
it's clean too, right?
Yeah. Let me tell you about the cleanliness of this warehouse.
Oh,
very clean. Like so I'm kind of on that side of things on a very, very small scale. And we struggle with cleanliness of just keeping everything squared away, broken pallets or this or that or extra wrapping or whatever that always ends up in the corners. Walking through this scale of this place and seeing how clean it is, very impressive.
Yeah, Nicole's team definitely, they clean when they first start the day and end the day.
Yeah.
It's 127,000 square feet that they clean every single day, and it's very impressive with her team.
They
do it every day, and it's spotless compared to other warehouses.
Well, and when you have somebody in like myself, like it is impressive to me that, because it says something about a team when they focus on the little things, right? Like cleanliness doesn't really affect how quickly you can ship things, right? Like it could if it builds up and all that, but it's not a priority in a lot of situations, right? Like we could prioritize more things ahead of cleanliness. Hey, let's clean this place once a week. Like let's shut down for an hour and just clean it once a week. But then you have somebody like me that comes through on a Tuesday, maybe cleaning day is Friday, and then it's like, well, excuse the mess, it's not cleaning day, that sort of thing. Whereas you guys are able just to have us come through and and listen, I apologize for all I know we got in a lot of people's way when we were creating content. And I told Nicole, tell your people I'm sorry, but they were really good to work with us. But it speaks a lot to her and her team that they prioritize the little things so that then the big things kind of take care of themselves.
Well, and that kind of goes back to that culture and why we keep people.
Sure.
Right. I mean, if you're in this big, well lit, very clean warehouse, I mean, you're going to enjoy your work environment.
Sure.
You know, if you're in some dingy, not well lit, dirty place,
Yeah.
you know, how much fun is that?
Well, and with a company that's investing in you and the equipment that you use, right? Like, I mean, the wrapping machine is a perfect example of, hey, wrapping takes a toll on a body. Like, I didn't think it would as much, but this is why I like to do things firsthand before we pass it off. So I know what I'm asking someone to do. It's tough. It is tough to run around this pallet about a dozen times wrapping this thing. And you're always hunched over for some reason. So to work for a company that invests in knowing that, hey, you're a resource for us and we want to take care of you really well, like that's got to be a good feeling. It really does. We also, while we're on the warehouse walk, we're going to do we need to see if we can get with Nicole and do a video on the carbon offset. So I won't give too much of the video away, but there's a recycling program here that takes what would usually end up in a landfill and turn it into a fuel source. So offsets carbon, but also makes people feel better about we're not creating trash, we're actually creating solutions.
Yeah, there's actually a counter on our website of how much we have given back to carbon.
All right, check out the website for that as well. Yeah. Very cool, very cool. Let's check in with a few folks. Fence Vlogs says, what's up, everyone? What is up, Fence Vlogs? Good to see you here. So Front Rock Fences says, what about a Nationwide Industries / Joe Evers collaboration with all orange gate hardware?
I like it.
While I love this idea personally, I don't know that my customers would love bright orange hardware on a gate. Like, hey, I see where you're coming from, and I appreciate it. Thank you. I really
definitely
do.
Be able to find the gate.
You would know exactly where the gate's at, which a lot of the customers want the gate to blend in, though. So I don't know if bright orange hardware. Listen, I'm on board. Okay, I'm just saying. One thing we talked about yesterday was when you're developing new ideas, the cost of the tooling. Like, can we recoup the cost, and can we be profitable in this item if we make this change? I don't know how profitable orange gate hardware would be. I would love it though. So, I say yes. I vote yes.
HOAs might not like. HOAs might not. Yeah.
HOAs don't like anything. Like, my experience. I'm speaking for me here. But anyway. Steve Boy says, I've already won, so don't enter me in the drawing. In the interest of fairness, can't wait to wear my Ozark fits or my Ozark baseball cap. Absolutely. It is coming. I promise. Braden is going to see to it. I have successfully pushed that to Braden because he spoke up. Yeah, he spoke up. So that's how we operate. Is if you speak up, you get to own the idea. Roger Bencourt says, how has Nationwide handle bottleneck issues in logistics and freight? So this is probably a good conversation to have post pandemic, where I'm sure you guys were just like everyone else, where you probably had bottlenecks on receiving inventory in, maybe not having as much of it, and then getting it back out through the transportation system. Can anyone speak on that?
So with our team, we get, this is quoting Nicole, I think she said about 30 containers a month. Yeah. So we have a team out there dedicated to unloading them, inspecting them, and putting them up and get them going to get out as fast as possible for our customers. Was there some bottlenecks? Yeah, there were some bottlenecks. Like anything with COVID, there were some, people had COVID, shortages of employees, et cetera. But, getting it out, I mean, we have dedicated two carrier trailers sitting out there for us, and we can call the carriers to come pick it up to give us an empty one. So I think she said at one time we've had 6 trailers go out in one day.
Yeah.
So we can have as many orders as need be and go from there. And the other aspect is if you have a huge order, we do bring in dedicated trucks to go directly to our customers if they have, I think it's like, 10 pallets or something like that.
Makes
So,
sense.
there was bottlenecks, but we do our best as a team here to get it out and get it in and get it out as fast as possible.
Well, one thing Nicole shared with me is during pandemic, there had been split shifts too.
Yes.
So that if there was an event where, one team had to go home and stay home for a little bit, that wouldn't affect the warehouse as a whole. So working with some split shifts helped with that as well, I guess.
Yep, there was some cleaning of an hour in between the shifts.
Yeah.
And then the second shift would come in and proceed. I think that it was 7 to 7, I believe.
So right.
Was the two shift or one shift, but both of them together was just like a 7 to 7.
Nice.
So we still try to cover everything.
Nice. Very good.
Well, you also have, there's other redundancy plans. There's a number of people in the office area who are licensed to drive fork trucks. In the past, over the years, pretty much everyone here has pitched in when needed to make it happen.
Absolutely.
We all understand that getting that product out the door, making it happen is one of the most important things we do here.
Sure. Well, and again, it speaks to culture, right? And that everyone kind of pitches in to make sure the mission happens. I'm going to call you Jay because I can't pronounce this whole lot, but Jay's got a question. Love the videos, Joe. Have learned a lot from them. Any suggestions on a hinge without welding, going from a 2 3/8 pipe to a wood gate without a metal frame, male chain link hinge, and a strap hinge? I would probably, in that scenario, I would probably use just a regular hinge. You'd still get the support from the steel post, but to directly attach from the steel post to the wood frame might be a little bit tricky. We looked at a hinge outside. They're adjustable, like the contemporary hinge, wood hinge, but it can also be adjustable and self-closing. I would probably suggest something like that rather than try to go from the steel hinge or the steel post to a wood frame. And obviously, if you watch the channel, we talk about hinges that go from steel post to steel frame. And actually, there's a self-closing version that is a partnership that has to do with Nationwide. But if you're talking about a wood frame, I would probably go with more either like the contemporary hinge, which is what we like to use on wood. You still get the benefit, or if you wanted adjustability and self-closing, there's that option as well.
Well, and what you could do on the post side is through bolt.
Yeah.
You're not that thick at 2 3/8, so you could actually through bolt on that side, which would give you a real good lock on the post side.
And you're not relying just on the wood to hold it. So pre-drilling and bolting through the face of the picket, the 2x4 and the post to hold that hinge on there, and then lag screwing or however into your wood frame as you normally would. All right, we're an hour and 17 minutes into this thing. I'm telling you, time flies when you're having fun. We need to do another giveaway. Let's give away the palm nailer. This thing. So again, thank you for our Christmas package. I got one of these in a box. These things are the coolest little thing. Who wants to talk to me about the palm nailers?
I think when you bring Eric Johnson around, come talk about
Eric.
over in the off there.
Yeah, I would like to talk about these because, well, one, we're going to give it away. Let's come up with a keyword. What do you think? Code word.
I think what we should do is, mustache for Rich's mustache, and thumbs up if we think he should keep it, and thumbs down if it's got to go.
No.
Okay.
It's going to be thumbs up no matter what.
Right. We'll
Doesn't
just
matter.
assume that. Assume that. All right.
Yeah, so let's talk about Grip-Rite tools in general.
Okay.
So we've developed the red tool line about 3 years ago. Came out with the red tools. The one thing that is important in the tool line is that we have a good warranty and we stand behind it, right? So all of our tools that you see on display have a 7-year warranty, including the mini palm nailer.
Okay.
Best warranty in the industry as far as that goes. And then with the mini palm, like you said, probably the coolest tool that we have out.
Absolutely.
I look for projects just to use it. Annoy my wife with new projects that I'm starting up just to use the mini palm. But It takes a hand drive nail. You can put a hand drive nail in it and you get it in any spot you want. So it was developed to get into the deck joists on those areas where you couldn't, throw a hammer in there.
Yeah.
You just put that little mini palm up there. They had the regular size palm nailer was there before.
Sure.
Even that wouldn't get into some of the tight spots. So, so we developed this. Just as much power as you're going to find in a regular palm nailer. So
and what's funny, I don't know that it's out yet, but keep an eye on our review videos. So I was recording a review video, and I actually happened to have this up. We were talking about it up in the YouTube studio, and they were talking about, and I forget the scenario, but they had, to use your example, they had a hard to get to location on driving a nail. Like, this is going to seem set up, but it's not. This is the tool for that. Yeah. Like the mini palm, like it's anywhere you could get your hand.
That's right.
I mean, you could get this thing on a nail.
Right. Absolutely. And same thing with we said about NWI. You guys been talking about we stand behind all of our products. So if you had an issue with one of those, give us a call. We'll take care of it. And so we stand behind all of our products.
You guys need to try this. Somebody's going to get to try it for free. So we're not doing.
No, we're not doing.
We're not doing.
Bad idea.
We're not. You know what? Here's the thing. So you guys, if you'll follow the channel, you know Sarah, my youngest sister that runs the residential division. What she tells me when I have ideas like that, she'll just look at me. She says, "Well, that's an idea," and then we move on.
Yeah.
So, like, oh,
I'm used to that.
Oh, okay, I got it. Okay, she doesn't tell anybody. She says, "That's an idea."
How about we do Grip-Rite?
Yeah,
Grip-Rite.
Okay, let's do Grip-Rite.
Grip-Rite would be great.
So Grip-Rite, no matter how you spell it, we'll take Grip-Rite as a code word for signing up to win the mini palm nailer. I'm telling you guys, these are cool. These are really, really cool. I was probably supposed to give it to my guys so that they could use it, but it's on my desk just because this is a very, very cool thing. It takes just a regular air hose. Like there's nothing. It doesn't take any special equipment to operate or anything like that.
Yeah, just regular air hose and take your gun off there, put that on, and you're ready to go. So
ready to go.
Drive nails.
Eric and I worked a show in Dallas, showing that off, and that brought more traffic to the booth.
Yeah.
Just because it's like a
little
gun. It's like a little gun where you can, get into the most, obscure places.
Yeah.
Now your guy Scott with all his coils in his truck, he can use those.
Now he's got something
that's right.
for.
Doesn't he have to nail them in, right?
Yeah, so. Scott, if you're watching, because it's a snow day at home, so the team's off. Scott, if you're watching,
go take that off Joe's desk.
Yeah. Yeah. You can get it off my desk. It's okay. But now we have a way for you to use all those nails you have in the toolbox. But it's in the air hose head swivels, because that also probably gets you into tight places.
That's right.
Like I understand what my children feel like getting new toys now, because it's like, this is so cool. It's smaller than my palm.
Oh yeah,
like
sure.
Yep. Anyway, this is going to sound like a hard sales pitch, but it's really not, because I legitimately enjoy using it.
Once we get it in, like Mike was saying at the show, once we get in someone's hands, they're taking it with them, or one way or the other, trying to steal it, or they're trying to buy it. So it's a really
attach cables to it.
That's right. Yeah, really, really fun toy.
All right, so code word Grip-Rite signs you up to win the mini palm nailer. Looks like we've got several people signed up, so continue that. And then again, we're going to put these into like a randomizer, and we'll announce it at the end of the broadcast. So let's talk about why we've got you. Let's talk about tools for a little bit. Okay. So
it's gonna slide out there.
Yeah, I saw you. I saw you trying to move. Let's reel you back in for a second. So let's talk about Grip-Rite tools, the red line of tools. So what's in the red line?
Yeah, so the red line will encompass all the gun nails. So any kind, if you're at a 21 degree, mostly in this industry, a lot of 15 degree wire, a lot of 0 degree wire. So we have guns to cover all that. We have guns to cover coil framing nails. So it's a vast variety, but when we're talking staplers, the whole bit, we're talking about for the fence industry, the 15 degree, the 0 degree tools. Nice. Then we get to our compressors. Really, again, I don't want to we're doing hard sales on this, but they sell themselves. Sure. We have a wheelbarrow compressor. We have a smaller handheld compressors. And so we have pretty much any compressor from a gas operated all the way down to a small 1 gallon, 3.5 horse compressor. Nice. Then we have hoses.
Yep.
We have tool oil, we have blades, we have the whole bit. I mean,
Kind of a complete line. It sounds
complete
like.
line, yeah, right. So we were selling just the ammo for years. And so this is crazy. We sell the ammo, we have nothing to shoot these with, and so
Sure.
they developed the red tools and done a great job with the line.
Nice. Now, is that something that's also available to ship? I mean, I saw the nails. I saw some tools out here.
Yeah.
They're available to ship with in conjunction with nationwide orders and long orders.
Absolutely, yep. We can bundle that all together, held right here in the Tampa warehouse. We also have the opportunity to ship from our 34 distribution centers for Prime Source across the country as well. So if they are in Seattle, Washington, shout out to Seattle.
Yeah.
We have a facility right there and get it to them basically the next day.
So, and that's something that that we're going to do a video on as well, is just talking about the different distribution facilities you guys have on that side. Because I live in Springfield, Missouri. I didn't realize there's a distribution center for Prime Source in Springfield, Missouri.
Yeah.
So I think this is something that probably a lot of contractors don't realize, is just how many of these distribution centers are out there, which makes it easy to ship. And you said same day or very quickly if you're not in the same town as one.
Yeah, that's right. We also can have customers come in will call from each
Okay.
of those distribution centers as well. So
Okay, so if you need something
in
in
the
pinch.
area, right? Absolutely. So
Very
that's
nice.
always good.
Very nice. So watch for more content on the red line, because we're going to start switching over our nail guns to the red line, to Grip-Rite nail guns, because we're going to shoot the nails. We might as well use the nail guns as well.
Yep.
Show you guys what those are about. I'm pretty excited about it.
I mean, I apologize that we did red instead of orange, but it was kind of developed before we met you. So we had
it's okay.
we'll talk to our engineers.
It's close.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Maybe next revision or
Yeah, that's
something.
right.
The orange line has a very nice ring
It
to
does.
it.
It really does.
Anyway, but no, I'm looking forward to it, because it's Michael and I were talking about the different offerings and just what all is out there as far as not only the nails but also the guns. So it makes sense to run one line
That's right.
instead of trying to mix and match.
Yep, absolutely. And then, going to it's outside of the red line, but the nails, when it comes to nails, staples, anything you need, Grip-Rite has it. And so, again, available at 34 distribution centers and in Tampa as well. So if you have any obscure nail that you're looking for, I'm sure we have it. And then anywhere to, your most common used items, a 15 degree, inch and 3/4, have pallets and pallets and truckloads.
There are a lot out there.
Yeah, there's a lot out there. So absolutely ready to ship.
Well, and it's good to know. We've said it several times, but about the bundling, to where, if we needed to make a truckload and say, hey, we can mix and match, or maybe not even a truckload, maybe a pallet, and say we need some wood to steel adapter. We were talking about those yesterday. We also need some Trident latches that we use a lot, or some cornerstone hinges. But hey, could you also throw some more nails on, or some this and that? We can mix and match into a pallet.
Yeah, and we have. I mean, I feel that nationwide, a pretty easy prepaid program to hit. But then when you start bundling all that together, I mean, it's a no brainer.
Makes it even easier.
Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah, we hit it pretty quickly. When we're talking about Trident latches.
Right.
So but I appreciate you coming on and talking about the red line, because I think this is something for the fencing industry that's really going to do good things. I mean, Grip-Rite's a name that people have associated with fasteners for years, quality fasteners that, like I said, Scott's eyes lit up when I told him we were switching to Grip-Rite. And he's like, which my point to Scott is like, why haven't we had this conversation sooner? Like, what other questions haven't I asked you lately that you have some new answers to? But he went on and on about Grip-Rite, about how he enjoys using it. He was a contractor, I'd say, in a previous life before fencing, and they were Grip-Rite front to back, no matter what they were using. Yeah. So it's a name that's been associated with fasteners, but now with the tools that test fasteners.
Absolutely, and we wouldn't put a tool line out there with our name if we didn't stand behind it. If we didn't feel we do very well in our fasteners across the country. And so, the opportunity for us to build on that was there, and we want to take advantage of that as well. So, and know that we can provide a 7-year warranty, know that we can provide a out of box failure warranty on them. And so,
nice.
Absolutely. Looking forward to getting you set up with the Grip-Rite line for sure.
I'm looking forward to it more than Scott is really looking forward to this.
I appreciate Scott standing behind us as well. So
he went on and on about it. But no, we're looking forward to it for sure.
Great.
So guys, watch out for more content for Grip-Rite and the red line.
Sounds good. Thanks, Joe.
All right, we've got people, a lot of people not signing up, I guess, but using the code phrase Grip-Rite. Stevie Boy wants to clarify, his comment was a prompt, so don't put Stevie Boy in the randomization. So
I will.
we're going to send you a care package, Stevie, because Braden has this figured out. And I'm going to keep repeating this, that Braden has it figured out, just to make sure everyone understands that Braden has it figured out. All right. Caroline, what haven't we covered? We've talked about a lot about the research and development. As Eric slides right out of frame. We talked a lot about research and development, about the tools you guys use to develop it, but also test it ongoing. We talked about the website being a great source for specifications, for overviews, for finding the warranty. We talked a lot about the sales, where I only know Michael. Like, Michael's my sales guy, but in talking with other people, it sounds like my relationship with you is not unique, in that you guys obviously, as a culture, put a lot into forming relationships on the sales side.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think that's what differentiates us. I mean, our customers are our friends.
Yeah.
We're in there several times a year showing them new innovative products. And I think that's, it's a partnership. It really is a partnership.
Sure.
It's not that we're just supplying them hinges and latches. We develop relationships. I mean, Mike Falconer was commenting in there.
Mm-hmm.
He's been
Yeah.
with Nationwide for 24 years.
24
I mean, he's got customers that have been buying, our hardware for 24 years that would, absolutely love him. I mean,
yeah.
They don't get that experience because if somebody new comes in,
Sure.
So we really pride ourselves on building that relationship.
It's hard not to love Falconer, though.
Yeah, it is hard not to love him. But I mean, when we bring Eric out in the field, he sees that. He
Sure.
sees
Yeah.
what we've done and the relationships that we've developed.
Well, and this is something that we talked about before, off air, I guess. But in that, in the industry, in the fencing industry, you don't, unfortunately, anymore, you don't have a lot of relationship-driven suppliers. Right, you have a lot of transaction-driven suppliers that they're great at taking orders and providing quotes, but there's not really a relationship there, right? And actually, so I talked about this on Nathan Downs' podcast, Protecting Your Perimeter podcast, in that you really have to start the relationship before you need it, right? In that and that relationships can usually lead to a better working environment too. In that you and I have a relationship, and so you started this before we were a client. So we actually was in the airport of after a FENCETECH. We were just hanging out talking about hardware. I wasn't a client, but we sat and chatted for a while. And but then when it did come time where I was like, hey, we could use a new vendor for fittings. That's one thing actually we haven't talked about at all yet is chain link fittings that we buy a tremendous amount from you guys. But I could come to you and say, hey, do you guys handle these fittings? And you're like, not only do we handle those fittings, we handle all the fittings, like whatever you need. And then so because you started that relationship early, it was just a natural conversation. And then it was, well, what else do you guys have?
Sure.
What else? What's your top sellers that I should be concerned with, or I'm not concerned, but I should be looking into,
Sure.
sort of thing. And unfortunately, that's not normal right now, like in the space of having sales reps that are actively forming relationships and checking in. Now, you check in a lot, a lot. And I'm not saying it's too much, but it's a lot.
It's a little bit.
No, but it is just checking in, right? So there are sales reps that will reach out, but it'll just be like, hey, what can I quote for you this week? What can I get sent to you? I've got this sales quote I'm trying to match. Like, how can you help me? Well, I don't think that's my job really, but when you check in, it's more like, hey, how are the kids? You guys need anything? I noticed that this time last year you were ordering this sort of stuff. Is that, and we do talk about, sales that are going on and that sort of thing, but it's more of a conversation just about, hey, just checking in on you. And then, hey, if I can happen to be able to help you, let me know. But so we talked a good bit about that, about how that sets you guys apart from maybe others in the industry and really in other industries too. We talked a lot about the back end, the support, right, that the support team here and offside about you guys being here to support and help people really, really quickly. We've covered a lot of ground there.
That's one of the things when you ask if we do fittings, you call Greenfield, and he calls me, then he calls you back. No, I'm kidding. Greenfield knows a lot of what we do, but yes, it's what makes it roll. I mean, is the camaraderie. If he doesn't know, he checks with me or checks with somebody else, checks with Eric Timothy. I mean, he's a director of engineering, not only doing nationwide, but prime source stuff.
Yeah.
He'll still pick up the phone. His favorite is Mike Falconer that he talks to all the time, but he's willing to pick up the phone and answer and get those questions answered of anything.
It helps that we have a great sales team. I mean,
Yeah.
I think about our sales team and a lot of these guys have been around as long, if not longer than me, with the company, which how many industries, how many companies do you see salespeople last that long at a place? I mean, that's one of the biggest turnover spots, but it's not with us. They're around there. We keep them around and they can build those great relationships with the customers as well as the people inside. I'm an engineer. I'm not supposed to say good things about salespeople, but I mean, we truly have a great team. I don't know how to say anything negative about them.
No, and you guys interface really well.
Yeah.
It seems like. Absolutely. That was one thing I thought was interesting here is that so sometimes like when you walk into like a corporate office, everything is very much divided, right? Like this side of the building is this side, and there's like a few hallways in between. You guys are really kind of in a shared space here where you could very easily walk over or you guys could have a conversation very easily and quickly.
Yeah, I sit closer to Rich's people than most of my people.
Yeah. He sits right near the inside sales reps.
Yeah.
So it's not without question to have Russell have a customer call him and say, hey, can you give me some specs on this? And then, he walks in the hall, walks down the hall and grabs Eric and, they figure it out and we get him an answer in a timely fashion, which time is money.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It's very huge, very huge. Mike is requesting hold back on the name drops. That's what he's saying. He said enough with the name drops.
Enough with the name drops.
That's all right. He'll be fine.
So Mike Falconer says no more name drops.
No more name drops for Mike Falconer?
That's what Mike Falconer said.
Okay, Mike Falconer. Okay, no more name drops for Mike Falconer.
Well, the good news is it's almost his bedtime, so so we should be good to go.
So Caroline, what haven't we covered? We talked a little bit beforehand on things we wanted to talk about and areas we wanted to cover. Is there anywhere that we haven't covered that you would like to talk about?
The only thing we really haven't talked about is our 2023 catalog.
That's true. What's coming up in 23?
So, like I said, we have 3 new products launching at FENCETECH. They'll
Yeah.
be there for the first time in our new innovation area.
Yep.
But the catalog, just like we're bundling Grip-Rite and Lockheed products, our catalog will be bundled. So it's
Okay.
like, Michael goes to visit someone, instead of handing
Yeah.
out 3 catalogs, it'll be there in one. So
That's nice.
It's easy for you, it's easy for him, it's easy for everyone.
Absolutely.
So you can pick those up at FENCETECH. You can
Okay.
request a catalog on our website where
Okay.
it drop ships directly to you. All you have to do is put in your information.
Nice.
That's still the 2022 catalog, but
Sure.
as soon as we launch those 2023 ones at FENCETECH, we can still do request a catalog online.
Very good. So if you're going to be at FENCETECH,
Yeah.
stop by the booth next to the AFA booth
That's true.
and get your 2023 catalog. Also, keep an eye on the channel because we're going to have some like product announcement type videos coming up right around FENCETECH.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be fun.
We're excited.
Guys, in the comments, if you got any last minute questions, comments, drop them right now. We're an hour and a half into this thing. I told you guys.
I know, we were
time
thinking,
flies.
how are we going to do this?
Yeah.
This is great. It flew by.
Well,
Flew by.
It always does. It always does. That's when I was talking to people about 2.5 hour lives that we used to do here on the channel. How in the world can we do that? Like, you're going to blink and it's going to be time to start wrapping this up. But we have blinked and it's time to start wrapping this up. So any last minute comments or questions, drop them in right now.
I think we have one last
We have
comment for
less.
you.
Do you have one? Okay.
Yes, actually,
The guy's sliding back in.
the guy
I'm
slides,
sliding
he's
back
going to
in.
slide in
Got
here.
a gift for
Okay.
you.
Oh, you do.
Joe, we wanted to thank you for coming out here. We appreciate that. Appreciate the partnership that we have with you. First time out in Tampa, hopefully many more to come.
Yeah, absolutely.
We did our first your first NHL game last night.
Had a
It
blast.
was amazing. It was a good
very
time.
Cool, yes.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the Lightning to find an orange sweater, but we did. We were able to come up with a blue sweater,
No way.
and we can see it there on the back.
Very nice.
The Fence
No!
Expert year 2023.
What?
So we appreciate you. Appreciate your partnership.
This is
And,
so cool.
Yeah, that's
Thank you,
Yeah.
absolutely.
guys. What in the world? Check that out. Can you guys see this?
You're now an honorary fan of the Tampa Bay Lightning. So
That's right.
I better see it if you go to the Blues game.
Yeah.
You'll kind of blend in, but I better
You
see the
got it.
Lightning bolt.
You got it, guys. Thank you.
No.
This is freaking awesome.
appreciate you. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you coming out
course.
here
Of
and your support. So
No, I've had the best time. I really have. You guys have been so welcoming. It was so easy. From the time we were starting setting this up, it was so easy to get it set up and to come out here. And I have been blown away. I'm glad I did, because I've been blown away with what the facility you guys have, but also, we've talked about this a lot, but just seeing how your guys' team interacts, how the team as a whole works together, it makes sense. I've known since we started doing business with you guys that everything gets taken care of really quickly, that it's always a good experience. But then we come here and it kind of makes sense. It clicks. This is why. Right, we've got a dedication to research and development. We've got a dedication to relationships. We've got dedication to the small things out in the warehouse. It makes sense. Once you see it in person. So I can't wait for you guys to see it in the week in the life, because I hope it transfers through the camera to you guys. It's an incredible place. It really is.
yeah, and I just extend that out to anybody that's watching that wants to come by our facility.
Yeah.
As you brought up earlier, just how clean it is. You can come by on any day of the week and it's going to be that clean. We don't have to do a special cleanup just because Joe's coming here.
Sure.
It's like that every single day, and they do a great job. So anybody that's watching that wants to make a stop by in Tampa, beautiful place to visit, especially when it's snowing.
Yeah.
In, Springfield, Missouri.
Yeah, it's 35 with a few inches of snow right now.
That's
so
right. Tampa's not a bad place to be
Yeah,
in. So
no.
yeah, stop on by and we'd love to give you a tour.
Very good, very good. Let's say this. How do people reach out? If someone's watching right now, how would someone reach out? Do you guys have a dealer locator?
We have a dealer locator
Okay.
on our website. They
Okay.
can, if they're interested in questions and getting set up, info at nationwideindustries.com
Okay.
or customer service number 813-988-2628.
Very good, very good. Guys, I would encourage you, if you're using hardware similar to Nationwide, but you haven't tried Nationwide, give them a shot. I think you'll be very impressed with the quality of the fitting itself, which is always important, but also the quality of people that you deal with throughout the process. It's something that I've been very impressed with. We did a call, just kind of a research call about with a third party, but about Nationwide. And one of the questions that they had was areas of improvement. That's, as a company owner, that's something I would want to know. How can we improve on the process? And I legitimately struggled trying to find an area of I don't know. It shows up when I expect it to show up or before. The things that show up are what I expect to show up. We don't get swapped items. The quantities are right. They're packaged well. We've had a couple bumps in the road that were shipping related, honestly, that were taken care of quickly and to my satisfaction or better. So I honestly don't have a lot of feedback, and I think that may not be the industry norm. So
Yeah, and I think the one thing that I found with Nationwide, only being here a year at Nationwide, is they don't rest in their laurels. They continue to, how can we make constant improvements? We meet every week on any issues that may happen.
Sure.
And discuss them and figure out a better way to solve it. Work very well, as you brought them many times, just the relationship we have with engineering, the relationship we have with Nicole and her team, and with marketing. It's one family trying to take care of the customer.
And it really feels like that. Instead of having separate divisions, it really feels like one big division with just different focuses.
Absolutely. Yep.
So, guys, I would encourage you guys to reach out to Nationwide if you're using something similar, or reach out to a dealer of Nationwide to try some of their products. It's a great relationship for me, and that's why. And it's been a great relationship prior to them coming on as a sponsor. Michael actually reached out, said, "Hey, would it make sense? Carolina, I'd like to have a conversation. Would that make sense?" Absolutely. I would like to introduce you guys to as many people as I can just because I would like to share this experience, because I feel like this experience is good for the industry, and therefore it's something that I want to share with the folks at home. So I want to thank you guys for being such a good partner.
Thank you
so
as
much.
well.
Yep.
Very good. Let's see if there's any last minute questions. Thank you again for this. This
Yeah,
is like,
absolutely.
I'm probably wearing this home. Like I'm just saying, I'm probably wearing this home. That's going to happen. So Kitty Stainman says, so when I win the palm nailer, do I need the gloves? Keystone and Grip-Rite. So he signed in on both. The gloves aren't required, but they probably would help. They probably would help.
They would help. We might be able to work something out there.
There you go. Okay. So Front Rock Fence wants to know if they can pick up nationwide hardware in Canada, specifically Calgary. Do you guys have Canadian partners for the hardware?
Yeah.
Okay, we do.
Yeah,
We do.
Yes.
We do. We have a Canadian partner. Greenfield actually has a couple customers up there, so he can probably speak to where a good distributor would be.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a good relationship with a wholesaler distributor out there, wholesale distributor, Direct Fencing Supply,
Okay.
and they can ship all over Canada, and they carry quite a bit of our catalog items.
Okay.
Not everything in the catalog,
Sure.
but
It's a big catalog.
Yeah, that's
It's a very big catalog.
2,000 plus SKUs, so.
Just seeing them out there in the warehouse, so like,
But the most common things,
yeah.
Jason and his team stock.
Okay. And that was who?
Direct Fencing Supply.
Direct Fencing Supply can get you your nationwide hardware throughout Canada.
Yeah, I think it's directfencingsupply.ca.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
Mike Falconer say anything?
Mike Falconer, let's see. No, not
Okay.
yet. Not yet.
Just checking with Mike.
He's
Falconer.
probably just really, I will let you know when Mike Falconer does make
Appreciate
a comment. You
Yeah.
betcha. Let's see. So, Russell Round says Blues would have been better. Listen,
It's unfortunate he's a Blues fan.
Yeah.
Takes
We-
all
we
types
watched a big
of
win
nationwide-
last night.
Yeah, that's right. We did.
Yeah.
a massive, it's my first NHL game, and guys, I'm telling you, I've watched them on TV, and what they say is like, you have to go.
Yeah.
You have to go to be a part of it. Absolutely true. 100% true. And it was a heck of a game. They were behind, and then they tied, and then they got ahead. It was crazy to watch happen.
Good fights.
Yeah, there's some scuffles. There's some solid scuffles. One of them was directly after the national anthem. Like
That's
before
right.
it even started. There was,
That's
like,
not a
we are
lot of love.
starting off on the right foot
That's
here.
right. Yep.
That's right. That's right.
Luckily,
All right.
no fights amongst our group, so that was
No,
good.
none
Yes.
with us. None with us.
Yep.
CB Boy says CB Boys is a Buccaneers fan.
Hey, go Bucks.
Good Bucks.
Roger says, great show, everyone. Thank you, Roger. CB Boy says, much love for the Fence fam. You got it. Front Rock Fence, so asking about suppliers in Calgary, says he'll be in the Tampa area next month.
Love to have him come by.
Perfect.
If you're in the area, I really suggest you stop by. It's a
Absolutely.
really good time.
That'd be great.
Joe Garza, Joey says Grip-Rite, so he's signed up. All right. Boyd Allison says, at least it's not a Cowboy jersey. Okay. Like, we're not trying to start fights here.
Yeah.
All right. Like, that's the thing. Like, this channel is very neutral,
That's
and
right.
it's
It's
taking
just like
sides.
dry
here.
setting versus wet setting. Nobody will have an opinion.
Now that you've said that, the comments will come alive. Let me tell you. All right. So Braden, we're at the end of this thing. Have you had a chance to randomize the?
Yeah, I'll do the one. The winner of the gloves was Front Rock Fences.
Front Rock Fences wins the gloves.
Yep.
If I can pick them all up, I'll pick one of them up.
And then I'm rolling.
In Calgary, you'll like the winner one.
And then Fence Vlogs.
Fence Vlogs. All right.
Yeah.
Won the palm nail.
Yep.
Very good. Congratulations.
There you go.
So Front Rock Fence wins the gloves, and
Fence Vlogs.
Fence Vlogs wins the palm nailer. Congratulations. So we'll reach out to you guys privately, directly, and ask you for some shipping information and get these sent out to you directly. Guys, you got anything else?
All good. Appreciate it.
Thanks
for
for
your
coming.
time.
No, listen, thank you again, guys. I really do appreciate it. Guys, I appreciate you tuning in for a special live Q&A with Nationwide. Again, if you're making it to FENCETECH in OKC here in just a few weeks, Check out the booth directly next to the AFA, Platinum sponsor, Nationwide Industries.
1521.
1521, and the escape room. You're going to have to check that out. I know I will. So we'll also be producing content from the Nationwide booth on Wednesday. So if you're there when the show opens on Wednesday, stop by the booth. I'll be there, and I'll be glad to see you guys personally and directly. All right. Let's check. Make sure we don't leave anybody out. All right. Fence Vlog says, sweet. Front Rock Fences. Thanks. Definitely need those gloves here. They're coming to you. All right, guys. Until next time, I'm Joe Everest, the fence expert, reminding you that good fences make good neighbors. And I'll see you next time.